pertaining not only to the question of whether Islam is a peaceful religion, but whether it is gender-biased religion. And these gender-biased religions, in their applications into laws, severely has affected the legal status of women in today's Iran and some other Islamic countries.
From my extensive traveling between Muslim nations and sitting through court cases, in particular in Iran, and hearing firsthand how the punishment for certain crimes is being implemented, I believe that majority of those interpretations are being used to really justify a male chauvinistic patriarchal culture, Arabian culture in today's courtrooms. I do believe that some of the punishments are barbaric and very harsh, but as a lawyer I also look at the intention, and also as any lawyer in Western countries would think, what can you prove in court of law? And if we go with the very barbaric act of stoning as punishment for adultery, which is the highest criminal act, it fits into a category of criminal offenses of zina, which is its absolute highest standard of scrutiny, and review is required. For example, in Iran, that women have been stoned to death for adultery, we very easily can say that that highest standard of review was never met. If we look at during Taliban regime in Afghanistan, women were put to death for no reason at all. It is so ridiculous to try to fit it into adultery. Women were stoned to death or were executed because they had left the house on their own. Young children were put to death because they impersonated being a boy instead of a female, so they can go to work and earn a living, because they couldn't find a job, or they were not actually allowed to find a job if you're a female under Taliban regime. That man who have interpreted all these verses, they really wanted for women to be maintained and obeyed and stay at home. I think that Islam has been misunderstood and misinterpreted by its own followers. There are a number of verses from Holy Book of Quran which have been interpreted by those misguided Muslims, by those bad practitioners of the faith, as being more like cult, being more like terrorists. I have a problem with all this misinterpretation of a peaceful religion to show the aggressive side, aggressive parts of it. And I'm sure, as again it is with any other book, religious book that you go and read, you can get positiveness out of it and you can get negativeness. It all depends what you are looking for. A small example would be the way Taliban in Afghanistan had interpreted Islam. It was to fit their agenda, which was to control people and really to abuse people. Iranian government right now, it's really, they are one of the biggest abusers of human rights, but they are calling themselves Islamic nation. And to me, because I do believe in Islam, I do believe in intention of true Islam and Prophet Muhammad, to me it's clear that they are misusing their political agenda to control people. So what we see here in the United States is really political Islam versus a spiritual Islam. It has 114 chapters, and some of the chapters, it all depends how you interpret them. They could actually contradict one another. So if you can find something to fit your agenda, then you always go with that particular interpretation.
I have talked and discussed with many of my highly educated Muslim friends, men and women, who all agree that there is a great disparity in the text as it is written and as it is practiced. But we all hesitate to come forward to ask publicly and without ambiguity the question of why we, as good followers of an ancient religion which has its foundations in social justice and equality for all, do not remove these misinterpreted interpretations of those verses which have been used to justify oppressing, in particular, women.
I believe that hijab came to protect women in mid-6th centuries. I believe there are 3 or 4 verses directly about women covering their head. Because I truly believe that Prophet Muhammad was a feminist. Prophet Muhammad brought number of freedom to women, which was unheard of in the rest of the world. The issue of hijab, if we go with the intention of it, I don't believe hijab is mandatory. Hijab came to protect women, to help them to move around without being molested in 6th centuries, without attracting attention from men and without being harassed. Now, if we take that intention and bring it here to Buffalo, New York in 21st century, would you be harassed if you are dressed like you and me? I don't believe so. Would you be harassed if you are fully covered, including covering your face and covering your hair? I believe you will be harassed. I think that we have to see if that style of clothing for women bring them freedom or really make them more oppressed, because if a woman truly believes, Muslim woman, that she has to be covered from head to toe, and as a result of that she cannot go out, she cannot participate in the normal everyday activity in Buffalo, New York, she's going to be sitting at home. If I go to Afghanistan and I'm going to remote areas in Afghanistan outside of the capital, would I dress the way I dress in Buffalo, New York? No. I would dress the way that would fit the culture and the environment and the atmosphere in Afghanistan today, so I can move around easily without being harassed and without being bothered by men.
O mankind, we have created you from a single pair of man and women. That you may recognize one another. Not that you may despise each other. In the sight of God. Is the best in conduct.